Hey y'all, what's up? Big Wooly here, and welcome back to another episode of our All the Mods 10 to the Sky Let's Play. So in today's episode, we are gonna conjure a village using Source with Ars Nouveau, and I would really like to get into just dire things for the experience holder, because I may or may not have died to phantoms in between episodes. So without further ado, let's get into it. So yeah, I had all them levels. I had like 50 something, and I didn't want to stand here and drain them into my, bucket because it takes forever. So I just left them. Then I AFK'd, and yeah, the phantoms murdered me while I was just standing out here in the open. As you can see, I did set up a little bit of farmland. I'm literally just growing some wheat. The main reason I did that was for Source. So we're generating Source with an agronomic source link. These are really cheap, easy to make. You just need a wheat, some source gems, and some gold, all of which we've done together. And then as crops grow nearby, it will feed the source into source jars that are nearby. So source jars, super simple to make as well, and they hold their source when you pick them up. Let's go take a look at, well, why do I say go? We don't have to go anywhere. The tablet of Conjure Island Village. Okay, so this thing here, if I make it, which just takes a block of diamond, block of amethyst, some archwood, looks like specifically cascading, a red, a green, and a blue sapling, and blaze rods that we made in our Productive Metalworks episode last time, we can make the tablet of Conjure Island Village. This is going to summon in a village with villagers. I don't know how much source it takes. That's why I made up 6 of these source jars. So I'm just going to pick up 3, which have been magically picked up and put in here. And then we have to figure out kind of where we want this island. So I was thinking maybe we'll bring it over this way and out a little. So let's grab out some stone. And then we're going to need the ritual brazier, which I think we made already. Like, didn't we? Isn't it up here? Let's see. There's our enchanting apparatus. Yes, here we go. This thing. So I don't think we're going to need to augment this with anything. I don't know that it can be augmented. Maybe it can, but it doesn't look like we need to. And so this is going to conjure an island out of thin air using Source. So I don't really know how big it is, but we're going to go right here. Alrighty. Source, it just needs to be nearby. So we'll put like 3 here. We put our ritual in, and then we right click it again to activate. Looks like it just took 1 full jar of Source. Yeah, 1 full jar of Source for all this. That's actually really affordable. I think that Stalk had mentioned this being an option for, building islands. This one is much cheaper than if you just tell it to build an island. Those use a lot more Source, or at least it seems like it from my experience. But yeah, we get some villagers out of this, which we're going to want to set up to be able to breed and hope that they don't get, turned into zombie villagers. So let me fill in this last little bit here with some dirt. I guess in theory we could have broke all the blocks out from under those, but how many villagers did we get? Ooh, there's mage bloom blocks in there. There's 1. There's this guy, 2. And is there 1 in here? 3. Nice, we got 3 villagers out of that. Heck yes. So we can use these guys to breed them up. I think Easy Villagers is in the pack. No, it's not. All right, so we're going to have to figure out some kind of more traditional villager breeder setup. We won't have much of a gap to bridge here, so it was pretty close to being right. But that is what the villager island looks like. So let's make it daytime, and let's move on to the next thing. Aha! Here's this pesky fellow. These are the ones I was talking about. I've mentioned a few times with you guys. Don't just murder these guys right off, because look at that. I get Protection 5, Falling, Feather Falling 5, Unbreaking 5, Mending, and Stable Footing for a pair of diamond boots and 45 emeralds. And we got all of that automatically being generated for us. When this guy comes around your base, you know, I know it's habit. We all want to extinguish him and get rid of him, but he does have some really, why did my voice crack? He does have some really nice trades in his inventory sometimes. And then once you've gotten what you need from him, you know, you can do away with him. Let's see. So there's a lucky sword, gives you luck, but you could also break that down for materials for apotheosis if you needed it. And look at that, a bumblebee spawn egg. We're gonna buy as many of those as it'll let us buy, because you know, predictive bees, and I don't know if I'll need those spawn eggs for anything. So yeah, let's keep buying. This guy was very useful. Now I'm gonna cut away so you don't have to see me remove him. All right, enough distractions. Let's mark off this Conjure Village thing right here, and then Just Dire Things experience holder. We talked about source link. We didn't end up using the Vitalic source link. We ended up using the agronomic one because that was just an easy way for me to generate a bunch of source in between so we could be ready to go for today's episode. Look at that, a rainbow. It was just raining and it finished for us. All right, Just Dire Things. Thankfully, Just Dire Things has got a massive quest line in this pack. So if you're new to it, never dealt with it, you can just come over here to mod specific quests. And we start in the middle here, and it tells you that it's a mod that, you know, goo, it spreads, all that. Where we start is the Primogel Goo. This is the base one. If we've been playing for any amount of time in the pack, we should basically have pretty much everything. Although I just hit the wrong key and made all my monitors go black. And I also thought about, do we have rotten flesh? Oh, yes, thankfully we do. Somehow we have a bunch of rotten flesh. Probably from all those failed attempts at the gate pearl. You know, we don't... Would y'all quit bringing that up? Jeez, okay, you know, they got the better of me. All right, so let's just stand here in the middle, open up our inventory, and see what we can get through. So we just need the Primogel Goo. We're going to need some sugar. We've got sugarcane growing in a hopper botany pot downstairs, so we have pretty much an endless supply of that, which is nice, because sugar is what can be used to activate your gel. Now, I'm going to make a couple of these because we're going to want to get 2 sets of stuff converting, basically. So let's grab out some sugar here. We can activate each of these. And then we're going to want coal in block form so that we can get the fuel side of this going. And we're going to want iron so that we can get the other side of it going. So let me see. Is it... Yep, there we go. Blocks of iron. And these will actually convert on all the sides, right? Does this want iron ore? Oh, it might be the shaders might be why we can't see the conversion process there. So we're just going to have to give this a minute. I assure you, it is doing something. So yeah, if you're playing with shaders like me and you don't see the textures, don't worry. There's just no textures for the Just Dire Things block conversions, or at least not in this shader pack that I'm using. There you go. See? Told you. It just takes a while, and it will convert even though you're not seeing the textures. So we're going to break that one, grab our raw ferrocore. We're going to break this one and get our primal coal. As you'll notice, we're over here completing quest lines. So next thing up will be to smelt our ferrocore to get us the ferrocore, which is the iron tier of everything Just Dire Things. And we can do that by simply tossing it into a furnace. Now, your coal can be used for fuel as is, or you can use it to convert it into a liquid form of fuel for Just Dire Things, so it can be used to make power and all sorts of other stuff. So, but the tier we really want to get into today is we want to get into the next tier. Now, that next tier goo has a different recipe. We need to take the base block and combine it with some blaze powder, some nether wart, and some redstone, which we have all of that. So let's go ahead and pick these up. Looks like we need a shovel. And then we can use these, which I now have 3 of somehow, and we can convert them all to the next tier. Now, the higher tiers of goo can be used to convert any of the previous tiers. So if you wanted to do more iron or more coal, for example, you can still do those on these. You just have to activate these with whatever they call for. So we can use blaze powder or nether wart, and we have both of those growing, so we can just take our pick. We've got 60,000 blaze powder at this point. I don't think it matters if we're using it for this. And now, same as with the iron, we can do gold. Now, I'm going to do 2 sets of the gold, and then I'm going to show you how we level up this here. So your primal coal, if you take it and you turn it into block form, you can use that to get the next tier of Just Dire Things coal. We're going to go ahead and just fill the other sides of this one with regular coal to get some more of that going. And all of this, even though we don't see the textures, is working on converting. I'll be back when it's done. All right, y'all, as I was sitting here waiting on this, I was like, what do we have for tick acceleration? I mean, we of course have the time crystals when we get there with Just Dire Things, but we have our dear old friend Time in a Bottle. And so rather than keep waiting and pausing, let's make us one so we can start accumulating some time so that we don't have to wait on this stuff in the future. So for those of you not familiar, this is Time in a Bottle. It is an impatient Minecrafter's best friend. You hold it in your inventory. While you're logged in, it accumulates time. When it has accumulated time, you can right-click blocks to tick accelerate them, and they will go faster, rather than us having to sit here and wait on, like, you know, them to convert. So I went ahead and mined everything. This is our blaze gold. Now it's just like the previous tier. All we got to do is go up here and smelt it up, and we can actually make our experience holder, which was one of the main things I wanted to get into Just Dire Things for. Just Dire Things experience holder, so much simpler and easier to use than like this. I mean, like this is easy enough to use, but it's slow, right? But let's take a look at the experience holder. This right here is an impatient person's best friend also, because a lot of times getting your experience in anywhere is kind of a time-consuming process. But with this, all we got to do is we could actually just take up this drain and we can put it right here next to the one we already have. We grab out a wrench. We can pipe this fluid XP, or should be able to. Yeah, there we go. We can pipe that fluid XP into here, toss in our upgrade, and away goes the XP. We can just watch the levels come pouring in. So look at that. We have 123 levels stored, and now to store the stuff out of us, I just click this button and hit Shift Plus, and it'll take it all away. This thing has so many more features. Like, for example, we got some bookcases here. We don't have an enchanting setup today, but let's say you wanted to work on some enchants. And since we have Apotheosis, some of those enchants are like level 100 or level 40. You can actually set a target level, and you can tell it that you want the player to always have, I don't know, 30 levels. Let's go with 30. And then once you have it set, if we tell it owner only, it should, in theory, when we're near it, if I set that right, target level 30, redstone signal ignored. I can't remember which one of these. There's a setting I'm missing. Let me find it. Let's see. Show render area. Oh, yeah. Okay. So we got to give it a bigger range. So if we tell it, you know, let's go a couple out that way, couple out this way, and a couple out this way. Now that we are in the range, the rendered range of this thing, you'll notice I just went up to 30 levels. It's going to keep me there. So if I'm like enchanting, as soon as I'm below 30 levels, it's going to feed more levels back into me. Now, for right now, I'm just going to shrink this back down to like where it's only going to give levels right on top of it. But when we set up a permanent enchanting area, I will definitely set something up where we can get our experience holder to keep our levels stocked up. And that's it. Now, anytime we want to store experience right there, anytime we need experience out, we can just come take it out of here. If we want like 30 levels for enchanting, we can hop right on top of it and it'll give us those levels automatically. All right, y'all, now that we made the experience holder, I want to get into some other things. Like armor, first and foremost. There's probably better armor in the game, but the Just Dire Things armor, especially if we get to the Celestium tier, is repaired with power. And we've got wireless power to the player. There's a lot of great upgrades that we can put in here, like Extinguish, which puts you out automatically if you get caught on fire. There's a no fall damage. There's a flight upgrade. There's an Elytra one where you can fly around like you have an Elytra. Now, we have a jetpack, but, you know, that there's no reason why flight might not be a good option for us also. So let's go ahead and keep going with our Just Dire Things resources. Now, if we were going to need any of these in like large quantities long term, there are all sorts of mechanisms built into Just Dire Things for us to be able to automate this with, but we really, from what I've seen using it previously, we really don't. So just crafting up and then having the ability to make some more if we need it is really kind of all you need with Just Dire Things, with the exception of the fuel. If you're going to use the fuel and the Just Dire Things generator for a long-term power solution, you may want to automate the fuel side of things, but I don't think we're going to be going that route in this pack. So let's take a look at the uses on our Blaze Goo. Oh boy, we've hit a roadblock that I wasn't expecting. Did you look at that? First and foremost, I thought we had endstone being generated. Why is it not showing that we have any? Are we out? Oh yeah, it's being processed as fast as it's made. So yeah, we're gonna need to halt sieving our endstone, or look at where are we making endstone actually. We're not making it here. Oh, by the way, I put a door in right here, you know, so we can get out without having to go up and down. Really ought to get into some, I mean, there's so much I want to get into. There's just not enough time in episodes, y'all. Okay, so where is our endstone's over on the other island. Yeah, okay. Ender IO travel anchors. Need those soon. All right, so our resource gen is down here. And our endstone, we're just obviously not making fast enough for the sieve that we're doing. Okay, so let's go just shut off the export on that sieve for right now so that we can build up some endstone. All right, so rather than stop our endstone sieving, I just crafted some with some of the essences from Ars Nouveau that we had gotten from quest rewards. But, you know, everybody here knows how to get that. Now, the downside is I think we gotta kill the dragon first, question mark, to get to our next tier. Because if we go look at the uses, yeah, we need dragon's breath, and we can get it from Zycraft extractors with a dragon head over an extractor. I mean, I think technically we could just go to the end and fly away from the dragon and probably get there. I mean, it's not like we don't have wireless power. So I guess we're going to the end. Okay, so there is a whole spot about that over here under the cool parts. If we come look, it tells us getting to the end. We need to make an end cake. I think we have literally everything in our inventory with the exception of some crushed endstone. So if we were to take a hammer, which I have in the backpack, let's do this. Let's go Shift K. Nope, I can't do it there. I guess I will have to do it this way. So if I do that and we make a compressed block and then we put you down and we grab out our compressed hammer, boop. Now we've got some crushed endstone. That's all we need to craft up our end cake. Now your end cake, wherever you place it down, it's just going to take you to the end from there. So let's put it, you know, right there. And I think from what I remember seeing, we can recharge it with ender pearls or something. There is a way to recharge this cake, but I don't know how. Is it like make another cake? Does that add to it? No. Yeah, there's a way to make it where it doesn't consume the whole cake. Is it just ender pearls? Is it chorus fruit? What is it? Okay, well that just took me to the end. Oh, and the dragon is up. Okay, so here we are in the end. I am going to ignore that the dragon is up. It does look like somebody has already killed him, but was nice enough to resummon him for us, because there is a remote gateway there, but we're just going to go the other way. We're going to turn on our jetpack, and we're going to hightail it out this way until we find a ship. I'll be back once I find the outer end islands and a ship. Here we are, and there's a ship and a dragon head. Exactly what we're out here for. So, let's grab up this dragon head. Thank goodness for a magnet. Turn off our hover, and take out a shulker. Since we're here, may as well get our elytra, which is interesting to get without having killed the dragon. Does feel sort of cheaty, but, you know, I won't tell if you won't tell. All right, we're just going to take everything because that's how we roll. All right, and I should have put a waystone down at the beginning of the end, but since I made 2 cakes, it'll be okay. So we're just going to slash home from here. And I am inside of a machine, okay. And then we do still have our second end cake we made to go back, and we will put a waystone down the next time we head back out there. But we got the dragon head we need to get our dragon's breath. So let's head over to our extractor area here. We're going to set up another extractor, like, you know, right here. We'll put the dragon head down. Grab out an extractor. Well, I can't get it to go down on top of the dragon head. Hey. There we go. And now we just need a drawer. A 1x1 oak drawer sounds fine to me. Turn on some hover. Place our drawer down. Grab out some locking and linking tools. Lock it. Link it. And now we've got dragon's breath to upgrade our goo again. How do I get out of here? Help, I'm stuck in my own base. I don't think we got to worry about phantoms. It's just our first night. So we will just go ahead and let it be dark. And then all we need to do is upgrade our goo. So I think I put it in the backpack, which I didn't mean to do, but we ran out of space. So let's see. We got some beetroot seeds. We got compressed stone. We got dragon scales from Forbidden and Arcanus. A saddle. Some potions of healing. Put that coal up. Shulker charm. Shulker shell. Warp scroll. Nice. Some golden boots. We got a advanced magnet upgrade. Very nice. The nuke virus. Reaper 3 iron sword. Some iron leggings. All right. Let's put things back in the backpack that go in the backpack. We're going to toss the elytra in there too. And now back to our Just Dire Things adventures. So there are 3 void shimmer goos. These are the tier that are going to give us the celestium, which is made with diamonds, and they can be activated with chorus fruit or ender pearls. Either one we have growing, so it doesn't really matter. Yeah, we've only got 17,000 chorus fruit. I don't know. We might be in trouble. So then if we take a look at some diamond, grab out some diamond blocks. It's the same as with the other ones. If we throw down this diamond, don't worry about not seeing the animation if you're playing with shaders. It is going to work. It just takes time. And this time we're going to surround all 3 of our goos with diamond. I'll be back when they're done converting. All right, here we are. Tier 3 Dire Things. Celestium, 55 of them. All right, so this stuff works very similar to like upgrading your your diamond to netherite and all of that. And, you know, even though we have our netherite smithing templates, we haven't upgraded anything. I think in this pack, the Allthemodium's armor is probably better. So if we go look at all the Modium, yeah, this stuff here, 7 armor, 4 armor. Let's go look at what we get with Celestium. I think the Just Dire Things is the same as Diamond. Let's see. Doesn't tell me how much armor you have. I want to say that they're the same as Diamond. So it may not be worth it long term to pursue the Just Dire Things armor and whatnot, because in theory, we already have access to Allthemodium. So now I'm conflicted about where we go with our armor choices in this pack. But Celestium tier has more to offer than just armor. Let's go take a look at what all it unlocks for us. So we get all of the tools, which are awesome, but we're going to need a way to move those enchants around. So that is going to be a task for something not Just Dire Things. I don't think Just Dire Things has anything that does any like enchantment moving and whatnot, but we do get access to some other lovely things in here when we get to our tier 3 stuff. Our tier 3 stuffs gives us access to all of the advanced block breakers and sensors and clickers and placers, droppers, and these are things that I think we're going to use to harvest our crystals in the next episode when we get ready to start setting up our automatic Geor farms. So I know this one was kind of scatterbrained, but we got all the things I wanted to get done. We even went to the end, which I wasn't expecting to get done in this episode, but I'll go back with that other end cake, place us down a waystone, and unless you guys want to see it, the dragon is a vanilla dragon. So there's nothing weird about the dragon fight in this one. I'm probably just going to take him out for the achievement and leave it at that, because we really don't necessarily need anything from him now that we've got Dragon's Breath coming in full time. Gonna be looking to get the server updated so we can get the new update on the pack. I think we have the star recipe in the newest update, but I'm not 100% sure, so look forward to that in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit the like button if you haven't already, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications, and we'll see y'all next time.